Here is how you save money on your next shopping bill, your next food bill, and also save your health at the same time. So if you're looking to reduce costs for whatever reason, things are getting a bit tight and you're having to save money, then I recommend white rice. So on this channel I help people to I specialize in helping people to lose weight and also regain their health, and that's through the foods that I recommend, as well as coming to understand as well, partly how the world works as well, and why you eat the foods that you eat and why you follow the lifestyle that you probably do if you're watching this video. So this is 15 kilos worth of white rice I have in front of me, uncooked, basmati rice. So how much do you think 15 kilos, that's 15 kilos of white rice cost me? Well, it cost me £17 and 94p. So yes, I'm here in the UK, so I don't exactly know what that would be in dollars, I suppose. I don't know what the currency rate, conversion rate is at the moment, but that would be maybe what, $25, something like that maybe. And then in euros again, I don't know, but yeah, you can look that up at the time of recording, but essentially yes, that's very cheap. So in dollars and euros, that's $20-30 as well, and yeah, less than £20 for 15 kilos. £17 and 94p for 15 kilos of white rice. And why do I have orange juice here as well next to it? Well, essentially, if you're looking to absolutely cut the costs of your food bill, then essentially all you need is white rice and then a source of vitamin C. So if you're worried that because you're having to cut down on the food bill and you're worried that maybe you're not going to be able to get all the nutrients that you need, so your health is going to suffer as a result of having to cut your food bill, well, white rice is the cheapest food on the planet. And I have had conversations with people who, yes, they're in situations where money is tight. There's not much money in the bank, and they don't know what to eat. So the reason why I suggest white rice is for a number of reasons. On this channel, specializing in weight loss, but I explain and I understand how the world works. So I want to have recommendations for people that most people will be able to understand, and then it'll make their life quality better. So it's not just about weight loss, it also affects the lifestyle that I promote on this channel, which is a high sugar, low fat, low protein, and also cycling, essentially health-based lifestyle. Yes, you save money if you want to, and you also will save your health and you'll lose weight and feel better. But the reason why I recommend white rice is it is amazing for weight loss, and I also base my recommendations on the understandings that I've come to from observing how humans have eaten for years, as in the history of what humans have eaten, and also the science behind my food recommendations. So looking at population studies, looking at how parts of the world eat and what their health is like. So most likely the reason why you're being being concerned and confused about, well, what should I eat if I need to if I still want to get enough food and not starve, but I can't afford to eat as much as I used to. Well, the reason why you're finding it difficult is most likely you're buying foods that are high in fat, high in protein. Most likely it's animal products, but generally high fat foods are more expensive than their high carbohydrate counterparts. and that's why you're getting confused. And you're also told that sugars and carbohydrates are making you fat and unhealthy. And the reason for this simply comes down to, and I've done other videos on it, and it's a topic that I could go on about for hours, but just to make it, plain and simple, essentially it's the foods that generate the most money will be pushed on you. You'll consume the message that in marketing that you need to eat fats and proteins, and subsequently these foods are expensive, and that's why you are being told to buy them, because it makes money for the food industry. Whereas food like white rice, essentially it's you never or hardly ever going to see something, well, white rice especially, along with other foods like pasta is also cheap and bread's cheap. But yeah, this white rice staple, you're never going to see being part of the, oh, you need to eat this, oh, it's cheap and it's good for you, it's lean, amazing for weight loss. It has all of the macro and micronutrients that you need apart from vitamin C. So I'd recommend fruit, or you could have orange juice just to fill that. And yeah, potatoes are good, but the reason why I recommend white rice is because it's amazing for weight loss. It gives you amazing energy to power you through your day. It's really easy to cook and prepare, and I'll have another video showing how I recommend to cook it and showing how easy it is to cook it. So it's easy to prepare, and you can store it like this in large quantities, and that allows you to not worry about it going off, maybe. So you can store this dried white rice for a long time if you stockpiled it. So there's so many reasons, and essentially this video is saying, it's incredibly cheap, and it has everything you need apart from just a little bit of vitamin C, which you can get that from, I'm just saying, orange juice. You can get that from, any other fruit, but I say it's easy if you just go for white rice and orange juice. And this is the absolute bare bones of what you could get by on every day. So 3 meals a day, and I would say, for example, 150 grams of dry weight rice. So per meal, if you were just having cooked white rice by itself, and you made up 150-gram portion, so that's just for one person, for example, that's 18p a meal. 18p a meal for one person. And yeah, if you bought orange juice or just an orange a day, essentially you're looking at less than £1, or maybe less than $2 a day, or €2 a day or so, to feed one person for an entire day. So this is what I would recommend. So if you're going to the shops and you're wondering, well, how do I get by? How do I make the money that I have? How do I stretch it out as far as I can? Well, I would say buy the largest bags of rice that you can, and that way, it's cheaper. The larger bags are more expensive initially, but per 100 grams, they're a lot cheaper. So, for example, this is 12 pence per 100 grams dry weight, whereas if you bought loads of 1 kilo bags, essentially, the economies of scale, it goes up, so it might be as much as maybe 50p, or maybe £1 per kilo, or even more if you're just buying 1 kilo bags, or maybe even 500-gram bags. So make the initial investment that you have in larger bags. So I've got 3 5-kilo bags here for about less than, just under £6 each for 5 kilos. And if you perhaps go to a wholesale market and find like a 20-kilo bag, or maybe if you're watching this and you live maybe in Southeast Asia, potentially, because it's not been imported. So I'm in the UK and this has been imported from the Punjab, then there's that cost. But you can see how if you're going and you're getting it from where it's being grown, it'd be incredibly cheap. So this has got imports, the cost of imports and everything, it being sent around the world essentially, like everything. But yeah, 18p and 150 grams is just sort of my general recommendations. If 150 grams, which cooks up to about 450 grams or so cooked, then for me, I usually have probably is about half a kilo maybe per meal, and then I would have that with maybe some tomato sauce that I've made, or maybe some soy sauce. But essentially, if you can just, if it is really tight, white rice, and then just a source of vitamin C. I wouldn't recommend ever using supplements. Always keep it real food. So real food. So yeah, fruit juice. It's processed into juice, but it's still the real thing from an orange, in this case. And yeah, bananas might be good, or just a whole orange, but yeah, I hope this is helpful, and maybe this might just save someone's life or your life out there if it's really getting that tight. And just think, in case you haven't realised, maybe you haven't, white rice is the food that has been eaten by most people in the world. And essentially, white rice is, without being condescending to people who are watching and maybe upsetting for people, but white rice is the food of the peasant. And I say that's not to be condescending, or I'm not trying to be rude and horrible, but white rice is shunned, especially in the West, as in, it's, if you've seen eating white rice, like I always eat white rice in public, people always seem to pull funny faces here in the UK. But yeah, if you've seen eating white rice, especially sort of just by itself, without meat in it, so this is a vegan channel, then you're seen as a bit odd and a bit weird and a bit stupid, and people sort of will move away from you. If you're in the corner of a room, people will sort of move away from you because they don't want to be seen with someone who's eating peasant food. And those are the people are just being conditioned that they need to eat a certain way. So yeah, billions of people on the planet eating white rice every day, and yeah, it's getting less because the Western way of eating, so bacon, eggs and cheese and milk and all of these westernized lifestyle of animal products which are expensive. Yeah, and then you have fast food, which, because of subsidies, so governments have subsidies for animal products, it sort of makes it cheaper, in inverted commas, for fast foods. But I say that's for another video. But yeah, 3 bowls of white rice with some fruit for so orange juice or an orange for the vitamin C, and then you've got all the macro and all the micronutrients you need. Super cheap. It's the cheapest food on the planet. So yeah, hopefully this breaks through the confusion that you had, because I've seen, and it's so obvious when you realize it, I've seen people and they're stocking up on like nuts, for example, which they're very fatty, and not nuts are not a health food, they're just a very fatty food, and therefore being again pushed because there's this, or there has been now for a few years, this push for healthy fats, which at the end of the day, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. So I was about 65 kilos this morning at 5'11", and yes, I also enjoy cycling, and white rice is amazing for energy, it's amazing for weight loss, and therefore I'm always lean when I'm going cycling, and when I add more and more cycling, I get leaner and leaner. But the baseline of the foods that I eat, so a vegan, high sugar, low fat, low protein lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle because you're looking at the world and going, well, I want to eat like a peasant to feel like a king and always feel good and full of energy. So there you go, eat like a peasant to feel like a king. And if people see you eating the white rice and they give you the funny look, maybe you could try and explain to them the logic behind it. So the recommendations that I give is based on a idea of health, and it's the full it's the full lifestyle. So it's also based on, you know, ethics and morals, and also understanding of the world, rather than just going along with what the next craze is on social media. So if I lived 1,000 years from now, I would still be recommending the same thing, which is low fat, low protein, vegan, white rice, fruit, and then table sugar for taste. So when you're exercising, at least 100 grams of sugar an hour, and then you can add sugar in fruit smoothies, for example. And you don't need to eat white sugar, but if you want it for taste, then yeah, you can add it in your daily routine. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and let me know what other videos you want to see. I've got other videos on the channel showing you about why cycling is amazing, showing you little videos of adventures to hopefully inspire a health-based lifestyle and not just doing what everyone else does. Okay, so if things are tight, it's white rice to the rescue. And also, if you want to lose weight, it's white rice to the rescue. And if you want to improve your health, then again, it's white rice to the rescue. So if you want to look like a lean person from maybe Southeast Asia or rural China, where they eat lots of white rice, then if you start eating like this months and years from now, you'll just look like a lean Asian, Southeast Asian looking body type, which is always lean. And then if people who live in Southeast Asia who traditionally eat white rice then start eating the Western lifestyle, they start eating bacon and eggs, then they start to look like what a lot of people in the West, and more so, look like, which is overweight and sick. So yeah, if you keep watching my videos, you'll start to see and break through the conditioning. I haven't been vegan and I haven't eaten like this all my life. It took me years of sort of putting the world together and understanding how it works to realize that actually the message is very simple: low fat, low protein, vegan, no oil, rice fruit and fruit juice, and white table sugar for taste. Okay, so the body runs on sugar, and that's why when you're going low on energy, you're feeling low on energy, you want sugar. So it's not sugar cravings or an addiction, it's just you need to maintain your glucose levels, and that's best done through high carbohydrate, because you don't get the negative health consequences of what fat does to you, which is, you should always remember when you're going to eat, deciding on what you should eat. It's heart disease is the foremost chronic disease in the world, definitely in the world and in the West, and then cancers are second, but heart disease affects most people because of all the fat that we're all eating. Well, I'm not eating, and the people I recommend don't eat. So get in touch if you want a personalised meal plan to lose weight, regain your health, and improve your life quality. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for your time, and I'm here if you need help. I'm here to make the world a better place, hopefully, and inspire other people to live a better life. So there you go. Isn't that an unbelievable price? So there you go. Sugar is not going to destroy your health, and therefore you don't need to worry about consuming all this white rice. Did you see any birds? Did you see any birds? So there's a high fat meal over there, and that's for garden birds. And the human diet is not a high fat diet, okay? So don't eat like the garden birds, okay? Eat the human diet.